by the time you're 21, 22, when you graduate college, I'm going to show you how to have at least 2 or 3 multifamily units. Your net worth will be $250,000.
So you've helped over 400 small businesses by now?
Oh God, it's way more.
What's going on, everybody? Today I have the CEO of Bella Sloan Enterprises, Herman Dolce. And talk to me about Bella Sloan Enterprises.
I actually named the company after my firstborn daughter, Bella Sloan. So we've grown amazingly, where we've turned into a financial literacy company. We fund small businesses. We do mentorships. It's been an amazing journey, bro.
You go by Haitian CEO. How'd that come to be?
I'm Haitian. I started another company before Bella Sloan Enterprises. It was called J&J Property Solutions. So I was like, hey, I'm the CEO of the company, so Haitian CEO, and it's stuck. It's just something that stuck with me. Everybody refers to me as Haitian CEO.
I've never gotten an answer before, and I really love it, man. That was a great one.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's going on, everybody? This is Alex Quin. You're listening to the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast. Today, I have the CEO of Bella Sloan Enterprises, Herman Dolce Jr. What's going on?
I'm feeling good, Alex. Thank you so much for having me on the pod today. I'm absolutely honored for you trusting me with your audience today.
Of course, man. Where are you patching in from today?
So we're from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Philly. All right. All right.
Yes. Go Birds.
Hey, man, talk to me about Bella Sloan Enterprises.
Well, bro, Bella Sloan Enterprises, I'm the founder of this wonderful company. As you can see in the background, I actually named the company after my firstborn daughter, Bella Sloan. And I have 2 beautiful children, Olivia and Monroe. My wife gave me these 2 beautiful children. And I started the company about 8 years ago, bro, when I went on a baby moon with my wife. And I came back because it was a wonderful trip. We went to Italy for 10 days. I came back and I was telling my brother, I was like, man, I used all my time because I was a social worker. I used all my time, used all my savings to go to Italy on a budget trip. We figured it out. And I don't have any time when Bella actually gets here, right? I have no PTO, right? I use it all. And he's like, listen, man, unless you own your own, you'll never be free. So he was like, that credit repair stuff you're doing for free, he's like, you should start charging people. I was like, man, I can't charge people for that. And he was like, no, you should start charging people because if they're not going to pay you, they're going to pay somebody else. They might as well pay you. And that was the birth of Bella Sloan Enterprises. And we've grown amazingly in the past 8 years, going on 10 really soon, where we've turned into a financial literacy company. We fund small businesses. We do mentorships. It's been an amazing journey, bro.
I love that. And I love that you tied it to such a special moment in your life. Italy is fantastic. Been to Italy several times. It's dreamy to go over there. Actually,
Dreamy,
talking about it right now makes me wanna head out there right now. Where did you end up when you went?
Oh my God, bro. I think we went to like a lot of cities. Venice, Amalfi Coast, Rome.
Yeah.
It's like 2, 3 more. Like we just hopped around. Italy is beautiful.
And you guys were pregnant during the time, or?
Yeah, she was 5 months pregnant with Bella. And we were late bloomers. Like we got married when we were 33. So we knew that, and we've done everything in our lives, basically. So we was like, we're really going to focus on the children that we're going to have. This before I knew what running a business really meant. And so he's like, hey, our lives are about to change. So let's just do one last trip for us, because every other trip from now is going to be very different. For the last 8 years in a row, I've been to Disney World every single year. So my life has definitely changed. So I'm glad I got to go to Italy.
Yeah. Have you been back with your kids to Italy yet, or are you working on that?
No, I haven't. I'm working on that. I haven't taken them that far. I've taken on a couple international trips, Mexico, Jamaica, nothing too crazy.
Nice. Yeah, talk to me about Jamaica.
Jamaica, we did a family trip. It's really interesting to get your kid's passport, by the way. That's an interesting journey to try to do. But it was a wedding. A friend of mine was getting married, and Bella Sloan has grown, so I'm able to take care of my family now. So I retired my mother, so she came with me to Mexico. Whenever somebody invites me to like these trips where it's for business, I get invited on international business trips where people invite me to come and speak about funding. So I'd be like, hey, mom, wife, kids, come with me. I use my points, my airline points, and I put everybody on the plane and everybody comes with me. So this was a wedding to Jamaica. I went to the wedding with my wife, but my mom and kids were on the resort having a blast. So we always turn something into a vacation.
That's beautiful. So talk to me. You go by Haitian CEO.
Yes, Haitian CEO.
So how'd that come to be?
How that name came about was I've been on Instagram a really long time, maybe 10 years. I think Instagram's like 15 years old or 13 years old. So you had to come up with a handle. I'm Haitian, and that's when I started. I started another company before Bella Sloan Enterprises. I got into real estate. It was called J&J Property Solutions. So I was like, hey, I'm the CEO of the company, so Haitian CEO, and it stuck. And it became kind of catchy because people call me that on the street. So it's just something that stuck with me. Everybody refers to me as Haitian CEO.
Nice. Were you raised in Haiti? Were you born
No,
there?
so
Moved to the
I
States?
am I am first generation. So I was born in Brooklyn, New York, moved to Philadelphia when I was about 11 years old. I'm in my 40s now, so I can't rep Brooklyn. So Brooklyn made me, but Philly raised me. But all my family, friends, everybody's in Brooklyn. So I go to New
Yeah, the
York all
culture
the time.
is Haitian. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, everybody's in New York. Yeah.
So talk to me about funding. Like how did you come into this industry? Was it something you always liked or was it random?
So it was random. I tripped into it. So again, when I first started almost a decade ago, I was doing the credit repair portion of it.
Right,
So the industry got swamped and millions of letters were going to the credit bureaus. So I was calling, I was writing my little letters, we getting the collections, charge-offs off, we was doing that stuff.
right.
And then I like to go on because you have to become a better at what you do. So I went on YouTube University to always
Huh.
learn different tricks from different people.
Yeah.
And you know what the algorithm does, bro? It takes you down the rabbit hole. I tripped into some business credit videos and I was like, wait a minute. Are you telling me I can get 5 to 10 times the money that's on my personal side just for having a piece of paper, just for having an LLC? Um, then I already had Bella Sloan. I had my old company, J&J Property Solution. I had that LLC. So I walked into a bank, personally guaranteed it, did what I needed to do, and I got my first $25,000 business credit card, right?
Nice.
That doesn't report to my personal. I took that same LLC and I went to American Express and they gave me a platinum card. And I was like, oh, okay, this is different. So then I turned into a funding company. Then I started funding people. And then as you grow in this industry and you're fixing credit and then you're funding people, people always want to know how to do it. I
Right,
never wanted to get into the mentorship and teaching space because I had this misnomer that anybody who teaches doesn't really do. So
right,
it was really important to me because I still waited to do it. But then my mentor was like, listen, man, there's a lot of people that really need your help in learning how to do it so they can help their communities. You'll do more impact because I believe in income and impact. He's like, you're making money, but now it's time for you to impact people. So we started an amazing mentorship called Bella Sloan Academy. And we have 3,000 members right now in our Facebook group. And we're on the YouTube. We're teaching everywhere to get this information out because, bro, I'm talking to 30, 40-year-old people who've never had a credit card before. They don't know how to
they're
leverage.
scared of it. They're scared of it. They
They're
don't
scared of
because they
it.
don't know how to use it. It's not an evil thing.
Right.
I've been down this path. I hired a mentor a few years
Mm-hmm.
back. After high school, after college or during college, completely tanked my credit, especially because of my college loans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had like 6 college loans, small ones, right? And then I was late 6 months on 6 of them. So that's 36. Okay.
Killed it.
Oh my
Credit.
God. You already know what that did to my credit. They
Right.
wouldn't lend me for cars, they wouldn't lend me for properties. It was tough at first. So I learned to operate without credit. Then I
Mm-hmm.
slowly fixed my credit. Now, thank God it's where it needs to be. But I had to go through that process. And I did hear a lot during that process. Oh, those who uh can't do teach. A lot of
Yeah.
people try to go down that route. But Jesus, like if you only saw the guy that helped me build my credit, where he's at now, and how many people he helped along the way, and not only that, the people I've been able to help from what I learned from him. So imagine the impact you've made on people, but then the impact you've made on the people that those people know because the things that you taught them, maybe those 3,000 people inside that group could be
Mm-hmm.
10, 20, 30,000 people that have been affected by your
Effective.
decision to not give a shit if people talk about you teaching.
Right. Exactly, bro. Exactly. The impact is big because it's funny.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've run into somebody, right, who would say to me, "Hey, your mentee taught me this." I hear
Yeah, you
that
see?
often.
Yeah.
Often. Mhm.
Now, obviously financial literacy is a cornerstone in your work. Why do you think it's important, especially for underrepresented communities? Because it seems that that's where the most of the impact takes place. That's most of the people that get impacted, get their credits dropped, don't know the repercussions of having bad credit, their kids having to go to maybe schools that aren't ideal, live in neighborhoods that aren't ideal, just for something that could actually be simply understood and fixed if you actually spend a little bit of time trying to educate yourself.
So I kind of was going to allude to this earlier, bro. 30, 40, 50-year-old people are coming to me for the first time, never had a credit card or a credit card is shot. And now that I'm teaching them, oh, I'm going to go buy land and put a property on it, they're like, well, how do I do that? I'm like, oh, just get credit and then leverage it. And then you'll pay back the loan. And then now you keep the profit. And they're like, what credit? And now that I'm taking them to the banks, I started to see that older people wasn't getting the information. So I was like, I'm going to make it my mission, right? And I started a nonprofit Blueprint Foundation. I'm going to make it my mission to get this information into younger people's hands as early as possible. So first, I was talking to college students. So I would talk to college freshmen and I was like, hey, by the time you're 21, 22, when you graduate college, I'm going to show you how to have at least 2 or 3 multi-family units. Your net worth would be $250,000 and you'll have to, and it sounded crazy to them. But I was, hey, you're 18 right now. If you get your LLC, by the time it's 2 years old, you're 20 years old, you can leverage that to get $50,000 to $60,000 in funding, right? And then that could
Yeah.
be a down payment on a multi-family unit, and you can do that twice, live in one for free. And I really gave him a simple breakdown. He's like, it can't be that easy. I'm like, no, it is that easy. So then the CEO of my company, who I hired for my company, Demare, she's like, I think we can go younger. So then we started talking in high schools, bro, and talking to them about, because they're about to go into high school now, especially with the new NIL deals that are coming out. We want to make sure these high school juniors or seniors are prepared for this type of money that's about to drop into their lap. Like, hey, if Gatorade wants to sponsor you, don't let them pay you. Let them pay your business because you get a better tax write-off because your agent is going to tell you that. So then, bro, we went even younger. So I recently wrote 2 children's books. Bella Builds Business Credit, and the other one is the ABCs of Credit by Olivia Monroe. So 2 children's book catered to kindergarten kids, first graders, because the other side, bro, we can call it white, black, whatever you want to call it, but the rich, they've been teaching their children about business, speaking financial literacy to them since they were babies.
Yeah, I really love that you went on the children's book route. I myself published a children's book like last year, but it's not financial literacy, but it's based around the values of respect for everybody.
Mm.
But the fact that you went the financial literacy route, and did I get that right? They're authored by your daughters?
Yeah, so that's a business strategy. So yeah, I wrote them, but I definitely put my kids on the book because now they get the royalties. They get taken care of if anything happens to me because those are their books and they're the intellectual property owners of those books. Just like DJ Khaled's son is an executive producer on his album. So he
Yeah.
gets publishing after something happens to DJ Khaled and you don't have to get caught up in courts and all that to transfer the money.
I have a buddy of mine. His name is John D. Saunders. I think he sold his financial literacy company, and he also launched a book. He just created with his like 6-year-old son a video game. Like they literally every aspect of the video game, the sketches, the digital part, the marketing, everything. And there is a whole different side to life where you're able to gift your child that sense of pride of being able to work on a project and know it's something that involved them somehow. And then when they get older, they're gonna trip out and look at it and be like, oh my God, I can't believe my dad was like so smart, like to even think about doing that for me at such a young age.
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. It's super dope. And now that they own something and it belongs to them, yeah, it makes me feel really good to leave a legacy for them.
What are some of the most common misconceptions people have about credit and financial freedom that come to you top of mind?
You said it earlier that it's evil. So, especially in our community, they misread the Bible and say the root of all evil is money. Yeah. And I'm like, no, that's not what it says. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. Money is not evil. Money is a tool. Credit is a tool. I tell people this all the time. They always say cash is king, but I was like, no, credit is king. Credit is king.
Cash is queen.
Yeah, cash flow is queen. So we use credit to create cash flow. So when you see these Instagram gurus, they're capping a little bit, but when they say, hey, how to get into real estate with no money, they're really talking about no cash or no money out my pocket because I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to get 50,000. I'm going to have a mentor. Some of them are scammers. I understand that, but there's good people there, guys, where they'll teach you, here's how you turn 50 into 100,000. Here's how you turn the 100,000 into 200,000. It's a long game. It's not always a home run, but I started with no money. My first property, I borrowed $80,000. My mom gave me $40,000, so I was all in 120, and I sold the property for 200 grand. That was
Yeah.
my first deal 15 years ago. And once you do it one time, you can't unsee it. You just want to do it again. So I made a crazy $50,000 profit in 3 months when I used to give a year of my life to make $35,000 as a social worker.
Yeah.
My was rewired after that, bro.
Yeah, no, that's important. And also like there is safer plays as well. Like, you know about this 0% credit cards.
Yep.
And it's not just to like my point of view, right? It's not just to pull out the credit card and go invest into the first shit that comes across your lap. But
Mm-hmm.
there is like there are going to be times in your life where you're going to have opportunities thrown your way that you're not going to be able to take if you don't have the money. And those opportunities might be something that you flip from one day to the next. Maybe an older person that you know is selling a car for super cheap and it's in great shape, and you buy it cash and then you immediately flip it, make 20%. A property, an estate property, like, right? Like somebody's getting rid of something that they have had a family member that they didn't know, left them a property. They don't want to deal with it. They're letting it go for pennies on a dollar. Like, it isn't always just to pull the money out to go on some crazy venture. Sometimes it's
Right.
good to have credit lines or the ability to pull out cash for things that you could buy, flip immediately. A watch. I've done it. I've bought Rolexes from people that really needed the money and
Mhm.
needed it quick. And I bought it for 20, 30, 40% under what it actually costs on the market. And I immediately flip it. So it's not just about getting crazy into a business that might not cash flow immediately, but just being able to be ready during those key opportunities. What do you think about that?
I think that's incredible that you say that because one of my mentees, when I first saw him the credit game, he got a $20,000 personal credit card. It wasn't even business. He liquidated the credit card. He went to the car auction, bought a car for 5,000. Right? Got a deal, bought it for 5,000. And his strategy was buy low, sell low. So he wasn't trying to sell the car for 10,000. He sold the car for 6,000 a week later.
Made a
Right?
stack? Yeah.
Because he it made $1,000 because he had to hurry up and pay back the credit card. So he
Chilling.
made $1,000 in 4 days. He couldn't unsee that. So once a week, he was going to the auction, right? And he was purchasing these cars low, and he was selling them for low, so he could hurry up and pay off his credit card. And that was his great side hustle that he was doing. Since then, he's leveraged to other things because now he has cash and credit, so he was doing bigger projects. But you're absolutely right. Everybody doesn't need to go out and do a big real estate deal. Just flipping things. Gary Vee did this on a podcast one time.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, go to the garage sale, get stuff for free. Go on Facebook Marketplace and type in free and
Yeah.
see all that are free, and then go put it on another platform and sell it for $10, $20, $30. Who cares what you sold it for? You bought it for free. You got it for free.
Yeah. You want to know something crazy that I think it was Jack Ma from Alibaba, AliExpress. One of the
Mhm.
ways that he grew so much is he started educating people in villages, people in underserved communities about e-commerce. So you would see
Right.
people in villages like selling bracelets and selling like artisanal things, like, and that's eventually how it became so massive, right? So that's where you could actually get your business if you actually educate people who could help you grow the business, right? Education is such a key component, and the fact that you're going younger is really important. Like, doing high school talks is something that I've done, like keynote speeches around the United States. I've spoken for Microsoft, I've spoken for Puma, but I've also spoken at universities, and I've also spoken at high schools. And a lot of the audience on this podcast is college students. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, we have a big audience when it comes to entrepreneurship and freelancers, people that run
Mhm.
their own business and want to learn about marketing and business, which is what we talk about here. But I
Mhm.
have a lot of people who are on the younger side who are trying to find their way. And
Mhm.
I'm glad that you mentioned the thing about scammers, because you like if you're listening to this, be very careful of where you put your money and who you trust, right? You always want to look for people that have big communities, that have great reviews, that have actually done great things in the business, that are actually taking time to put things out into the market that do help people, and it's not just a quick cash grab for them, a quick mentorship or quick consulting package they're trying to sell you, but somebody that's actually invested into it, right?
Yeah. Very true.
Herman has two books. Herman tries to help people through his foundation. He also has his company. So these are the type, these are kind of like the qualities and the traits that you're looking for in people, where you're going to invest your time, if not money, into it. Because obviously, if when investing money is one thing, you can lose your money, but you could also lose your time by listening to some fool online that has no
Yeah.
idea what they're talking about. Because there's a lot of charismatic people online that look and sound like they know what they're talking about, but they absolutely don't. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of that over the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, ever since 2020, when a lot of this stuff started popping off. And for example, I saw a huge surge of people looking for things to do after 2020, because maybe they had a little bit of cash, they had received checks from the government, and were looking to spend their money, and people were scrambling around to create packages, trying to help people make money. And of course, not everybody was able to be successful. So it's very important to look out who you are listening to, who you're investing your time into. How has your experience been with that?
So first of all, I want to speak from experience. I've been scammed too,
Okay.
several times, right? I didn't learn my lesson. So that's why it's more than six figures. So you're speaking to somebody who's been through it. And I tell people I don't take losses, it's just a bunch of lessons. It was
Yeah.
a learning experience for me. And that's where success has receipts come from. That's a tagline that I trademark, have some t-shirts with it, right? Because we're easily scammed because we think that somebody who posts their Rolex and a nice car, which can be rented, or they made it from selling the courses by scamming people, that's where they made their money from. When I tell people success has receipts, like before I hopped on a call, I got another line of credit for $50,000 and I'm going to buy some land, right? I'm going to screenshot that and I'm going to post it. I'm going to be like, hey guys, not only do I teach this, but I really do it in real life. But you know what? It's better than me as a receipt, the people that I have helped. When I'm posting screenshots from my group, from my nonprofit Blueprint Foundation, or from my Bella Sloan Academy Facebook group, and people are like, "Hey, I got these inquiries off. The bankruptcy was removed. The late payment letters you sent Herman worked out. Hey, I funded. They're funding their clients because they started funding companies. Hey, I funded my clients $100,000. Those are way better receipts." Because that's what you need to be looking for when you're trying to find a mentor, instead of somebody who's flashing his private jet or his cars or his watches. Those are not receipts. And those flashy things can get you caught up in the wrong things. So I don't post. I have a Rolex. I have a red Corvette my wife got me for my birthday, but I don't post it because I'll be attracting the wrong client.
Oh, I love that my wife got me.
Yeah, I don't even want to say I got it. My wife got it for my 40th birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was an amazing gift. It was an amazing
Yeah.
gift.
And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with having a Rolex, y'all. It's
Nothing
just about how
wrong.
you present yourself. I'm wearing one right now, but I'm not flashing it in your face all the time, trying to show
Right.
you that that's how I got successful, right? That's also something that does scare a lot of people away, because a lot of people in the space are flexing on the jet,
Yeah,
flexing
yeah.
on rent a car.
Mhm.
You're here talking about your wife and your mom and your kids traveling with you to your speaking engagements, or that's the flex. That's
That's
the flex.
flex.
That's the flex.
My time is my flex.
Yeah.
When on Tuesday, like literally, I did a podcast in Utah on a Tuesday, and that Thursday I was in Miami, and that
Yeah.
Sunday I was in Philly. That's my flex. My
Yeah.
time that I can do whatever I want. That's my flex, and I can take my family with me. That's the flex for me.
I like
That shows
you
how rich I am.
trademark. You should trademark that. My time is my flex.
My time is my flex. That's a good one. Yes. Facts.
So you've helped over 400 small businesses by now?
Oh God, it's way more.
Yeah.
Our company Bella Stone has funded over $100 million in funding. We have helped 150 people quit their jobs, and we have created 7 millionaires. So we've been doing this a long time. So we have the blueprint. That's the blueprint foundation
Yeah.
of what to do to help people to execute. If you execute, your time, your money, plus my blueprint is an amazing ROI.
You know what the cool thing about the community you build is, I'm sure that this has already happened to you. I'm assuming, I'm speculating, but when you build people up like this, they're going to keep you in mind when there's money plays. So I'm sure people that you've mentored have come to you with some really good plays that have made you
Oh,
some really decent money.
yes, real estate deals, speaking
Yeah.
engagements. Oh yeah, of course, bro. I always say this: if I lose everything tomorrow, I could just drop something in the Facebook group. Hey guys, I need help, and these people will lift me back up again, 100%.
Yeah. Honestly, I always talk about it. I rather have solid connections,
Mhm.
right? and maybe not as much money than a bunch of money and no connections, because you could lose your fortune fast. And I'm telling you that as somebody that has lost a lot of money a lot of
Mhm.
times and have
Yeah.
been able to build it back up fast because of my knowledge and because of the people that I know.
Right. 100%, bro. Definitely. Yeah. Relationships are so key. It's the old adage is not old. It's still relevant. Your network is your net worth.
That's right. Now, what are some key elements of a successful mentorship program, and how have you applied these to your own mentees?
Um, Good updated quality information. So my old mentorship was I recorded content and I put it up and people bought it, right? But remember, information changes all the time. So then I switched my business model to a subscription base, and every single Wednesday is a live call, right? Because information changes and people like to ask questions, and then they can watch the old videos. That's number one. Number two, having good systems in place. What took me from a six-figure business to a seven-figure business is having systems, text message, emails, website. I have a tech team, customer service. So when you have those, so when like up on a Black Friday, I think we got like 1,000 clients that purchased at one time. If I didn't have systems in place, when they purchase something, they get a text message, a schedule to call to a customer service representative. If I didn't have those things in place, I would lose customers and I would have a bad name, even though it was a good product. So
Right.
those are two major things. And of course, the important good content in there that's relevant and that actually works.
And the subscription keeps you accountable, like you yourself, right?
100%.
And
Yeah.
yeah, because a lot of these lifetime memberships, um, like I guess people that run them, there's a lot of people doing good ones, but I would guess the person loses motivation after a while because unless they're bringing on new people, they're not
Yeah.
going to make new revenue.
They're
Kind
not
of like
going to.
the Whoop band. Have you seen the Whoop band? Are you familiar
No, I
with Whoop?
haven't. I
Okay,
haven't.
so this thing tracks your skin temperature, your breathing, your heart rate variability, the different stages of sleep that you're in. And this
Okay.
is a subscription based thing. So this is $30 a month. The band is free, right?
Hmm.
And you're always up to date. Now, there is other propositions in the market that are a lifetime deal, and then you
Right.
get the product. But
Yeah.
then the company is not incentivized to continue to update and grow because unless they acquire new customers, they never make any revenue from their existing.
Right.
So
Right.
I like that you took that model. Now, I have a specific question related to timing, right? Now, we're in a specific economic climate. Things are very different, specifically in the United States, from where they were maybe before 2020 or even a little bit after 2020. Have you seen it to be more challenging to get approved for credit lines or funding during this time? And if so, what measures are people taking to be able to mitigate that?
Great question. I get this asked a lot because I'm in the funding space. I remember when around 2020 when COVID happened, um, a client with 700 credit score, good credit profile because it's a good score, and then you have to have a good profile. So that
Yeah.
means that person had a couple of credit cards already. They're aged out. They had good limits. I was able to get that person 150, $200,000 easy every time.
Hmm.
And when the market turned, that same person was getting half. They was getting 75 to $100,000.
Mm.
Right now, that's starting to happen again because everything in business goes in cycles. So now, a qualified person, I'm seeing they're getting 25%, 30% less. So there's two answers to that question, right? Number one, there's nothing I could really do, right? It is what it is. This is what the banks are giving. Number two, structuring your business as best as possible actually alleviates you getting minimum money. So Alex, if you came in and you were like, "Hey, I got a 680 credit score. My credit cards are maxed out to 50%. I got a business name, but I don't have a business website or a business email," right? You're gonna get a $15,000 credit card.
Mhm.
But when somebody comes into me, I tell them to optimize their credit and their business, meaning pay down your personal credit cards, get as many inquiries as possible because you pay down the debt, your scores are going to go over 700 because banks like to give money to people who look
Yeah.
like they don't need the money, right? And then I'm going to tell you, hey, I need you to go to Fiverr.com and get a business website, get a business email. I need you to look professional, get a business phone number because we're going to put that on the business application to me. Those little things now, even though they're giving less money, you'll be able to get more money than the average person because you have optimized your credit profile in your business.
Interesting. I didn't realize it was that important as far as like business website and all that.
Well, yeah, very important, bro. Those little things you don't think so because people are still getting money, but those
Yeah.
little things get you that 20, 30% bump in credit limits.
Now, for on a personal note and on my business side, I don't use a credit card over 30% of its limit. Is that still a safe area to be within?
Right, that's the number. If anytime you go over 30%, your credit drops. But the optimal place to be is between 0 and 9%. Now, when it's time for you to get funding on the business side, get it as low as possible, because the less debt you're in on the personal side, the more money they're going to give you on the business side.
Interesting. Okay. What are some of the biggest challenges small businesses right now face when it comes to securing funding?
The biggest challenge is documentation, because they don't have the right documents, because banks are really getting strict on that. And number two, the owners or the personal guarantees credit. That's really hindering them from getting money. Because I want you to think about it this way: the bank doesn't know who Bella Sloan is. They know who Herman is. I already had a relationship with them. So I walk in with Bella Sloan. I'm like, hey, but here's Bella Sloan's ID, which is the LLC. Here's their
Yeah.
social security number, which is their EIN. Here's their business address, which is their address. So I'm totally separate. Well, we know who you are. Who's this? All right, it's cool. You don't know who they are, but I'm going to vouch for them. I'm going to vouch for Bella Sloan. There's like, all right, Herman, I trust you. So we're going to give the business money because you vouch for that person, right?
Right.
So now I got the $50,000 line of credit that I'm going to go invest. So understanding how banks think is super important to maximize how much capital you can get.
At what point, um, at what point is the individual able to remove themselves from being a guarantor and the business itself carries the responsibility or the weight moving
There's
forward?
there's two ways to do that. The first way is just like you have TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian on the personal side. Your business has a credit score also. It's called your Paydex score, right? And it comes from a company called Dun and Bradstreet. They're the
Actually,
grandmother of them all. And then you have Experian and Equifax business also. So if you have a good business credit score, by adding business trade lines to your credit report, like what's a good one? Oh wow, I'm doing a brain freeze right now. Uline, Quill, and Granger. You can get those. There's another company, the CEO Creative. You get those lines and you put them on your business credit profile. Once you have over an 80 Paydex score, it goes from 0 to 100. Well, after you get over 80 Paydex score, it's a lot easier to get business funding that is not personally guaranteed. So, like at Sam's Club, right? They have a MasterCard that is not personally guaranteed if you have an 80 business credit score. So that's one way to do it. The second way to do it is banks have gotten hit, and they're like, listen, the personal guarantor or the owner might have bad credit, but they're making revenue, they're making money. So they have these banks called fintech banks, where they see what's going in and out of your business checking account, and they're like,
yeah,
oh, he made 10,000 this month, he made 50,000 this month. Let's get him a $20,000 card,
yeah.
because now the business has revenue. So how you get no personal guarantee funding is two big strategies: having a good business credit score by building it up just like you build up your personal, or your business itself having revenue, and you're showing these banks, hey, my business makes revenue. And they're like, well, you're a good CEO, the business is making money, let's knock it out.
Now, let's say you've had an LLC operating 5, 6, 7 years, but don't have a Dun and Bradstreet account number, etc. Um, does that heavily affect you at the time of getting it, or do they take into account how long your business has been operating and cash flowing?
So it depends. If you're personally guaranteeing it, no, Dun and Bradstreet is not a deal breaker. If you got good credit and your business is that old, that piece of paper is that old, they're going to give you 25, 30, 50 grand, 0% interest for up to a year. That's going to happen. I do that in my sleep.
Now, Dun and Bradstreet, is that like a yearly fee, or how does that work?
So Dun and Bradstreet, to get your Dun and Bradstreet credit score, just like if you went to Experian or TransUnion and you're on subscription to check your score, it's the same thing with them. I recommend you go to a company called nav.com. They'll
Mhm.
give you your Dun and Bradstreet score, and they'll give you your Experian business credit score for $50 a month. And what's really great about that company is that subscription that you're paying, they'll put that on your actual business credit score itself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. So it's actually worth it.
Oh, okay, cool. I love that. And I asked that for myself more than for the audience, because I haven't dabbled with Dun and Bradstreet. My previous mentor always talked about it, never got around to it. Now, you've collaborated with notable figures in the podcast industry. How have these partnerships influenced your business and your personal brand?
Marketing. Listen, I'm on Alex's podcast right now. All this is marketing towards my business.
Yeah.
And that's an important part of any business that you're doing: marketing and selling. and being put on these different platforms have exposed me to people that I probably wouldn't have been exposed to. You understand the Instagram algorithm, bro. After a certain while, you're talking to the same people, right? The reach is not going anywhere. That's why I got on different platforms. I got on TikTok. I got on Twitter. I started teaching free classes on my YouTube channel, right? And then I started going on different people's podcasts because I'm talking to generations. Like I didn't know I was talking to young entrepreneurs, right? On your podcast, I'll go on another podcast and I'm talking to hairstylists in California that I would have never had access to because I'm here on the East Coast. So having these different platforms to speak my message to exposes me to different people, educates different people, and allows me to potentially in the future have different clientele that's going to knock on our door.
Beautiful. Now, what advice would you have for someone that's just starting out in business and is struggling with their credit?
Oh, they can go to Bella Sloan Enterprises on YouTube, where I
Okay.
have a bunch of free trainings on how to get collections, charge-offs off your credit report. Get as much free information as possible because I promise you it's out there. The
Yeah.
only I tell people you're either going to pay with your time or you're going to pay with your money. If you don't have any money, then you have to pay with your time. Go get
Mm,
the free information on YouTube. It's there. Start to knock some things out. You'll see in the comment section, oh my God, Herman, it worked. If you don't have time, then you have to pay somebody to do it for you. But that's the first place to start. Go on YouTube University, get the education, fix your credit, or pay somebody to do it. And then actually, after you fix your credit, the next level is building your credit. So you're going to go to credit unions because they give out the most money. So instead of like going to Bank of America and they're going to give you a $500 credit card for your first credit card, I know Navy Federal is not the best place right now because everybody talks about how they hike their interest rates. But Navy Federal, your first credit card could be a $2,000-$3,000 credit card, and that's a great foundation because as you build up your credit, no one's going to give you a $500 credit card because Navy Federal gave you a $2,000-$3,000 one. And
interesting.
as you build your credit profile up, now when you go get business funding, you're like, oh, he's got 3, 4 credit cards that are over 2 years old. They're $5,000, $10,000 limits. That's how we're getting clients 50, 60, $100,000 on the business side because you've been responsible on the personal side. And it all started with you watching a couple of videos on YouTube and executing on the information.
I love the answer to that, and thank you for putting out free information to help other people and for leading them in that direction instead of pitching them
All
to
right, yeah.
hobby
Sign up for
sites.
those Stone Enterprise. We got you. No, the information is free. I tell people the information is free. I just charge for my time. If my
Yeah.
team is going to do it, I got to pay them. But that same thing that they're doing in my company, it's free on my YouTube page.
Now, are you seeing people ever that are trying to fix or build their credit pay their landlords through Venmo or PayPal so they could charge it on a credit card? Do you ever see that working?
Yes, and it's actually smart to do. So I know a couple of landlords. There's a couple of platforms now, Rent Me or a couple of them where they can actually pay the landlord using a credit card. Now, only do this if you have the cash already.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't want you to get into debt. If your rent is 1,500, charge your credit card $1,500. Pay your credit card the next day or 2, 3 days later, because now you're doing this churn on your credit report, which is super dope, right? And if you're smart enough and you have a cash back credit card, right, that's going to give you cash back for paying it or getting points, it's a great idea. I use a company, bro, called Zill Money, where I'm able to do payroll with my business credit card.
Nice.
So I use my business platinum card and I charge the payroll. They charge the credit card the payroll. And on Monday, I just pay the card because I got the payroll money in my business bank account. So now my payroll is 20, 30,000 a week. Guess what I have now? 20, 30,000 points on my credit card. That guess what I'm doing? I'm flying for free. I'm going to hotels for free. This is how you can leverage credit for many amazing things.
How is the interest side of that? Is it heavy?
Well, it's 0%. Remember, my platinum card is a charge card, so I'm paying it in full anyway.
Yeah.
So the interest doesn't. I don't care about the interest, I'm paying it off in full anyway.
And that company doesn't have any like crazy fees?
No, it's not crazy fee. I think they charge me $100 to do that. But it comes out in the
Oh.
wash. Yeah, it comes out in the wash with the points that I'm getting.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course.
yeah, like it's negligible.
I'm doing that next week.
Yes, yeah,
Payroll's going on the Amex.
yes, bro. Zillmoney.com, ZILmoney.com.
Listen, y'all, everything we talked about today, everything we're talking about right now, you're going to be able to find it on the show notes on hustleinspireshustle.com/podcast. You find the episode or on whatever streaming platform you're listening on. You're going to be able to find Herman's social medias, his website, his YouTube channel, and all of the resources that we mentioned right now. Now, I have a few more questions for you, Herman. We good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What are some of the most rewarding aspects of being a financial freedom mentor outside of being able to travel with your family?
The impact of helping other people. This running your business, as any entrepreneur knows, is exhausting. I'm tired all the time. It's 80, 90 hour weeks because it's my baby and it's a labor of love. But when
Yeah,
I get stopped in the street, when I get the DMs, when we get the emails of the people we helped, I feel like I'm doing God's work. I feel like it's way more than the money, because of the literally the thousands of people that we have helped directly or indirectly. When somebody says, "Hey, I watched a YouTube video. Hey, I watched your Instagram and it worked, and I got $10,000, and that helped me in my business." Like that is the best part of anything that I'm doing right now.
I bet. Now, can you share you just mentioned some potential success stories that touch your heart. Can you share a success story from one of your clients or mentees that particularly resonates with you or stuck to you?
So there's a couple, right, that come to mind. So first off, when people think that they have a dream to start a hair salon, a tech company, or whatever, and they have the dream but can't fund it, and all I have to do is just show them go to these three banks, go to Bank of America because they pull, go to American Express because they pull from Experian, go to Navy Federal because they pull from TransUnion, go to Keep Bank because they pull from Equifax. So now they don't see the inquiries that you got from the other banks. So they're going to give you the maximum money. So I'm like, do that strategy, guaranteed is 50 to 75,000. And then to see somebody get that type of capital, bro, and they're super excited because where else were they going to get $75,000? Because they didn't audit your circle. So they don't have friends and family they can get their money from. And then seeing that person invest in their business and they invite me to their shop, they invite me to their beauty salon, they send me free merch from the line that they started. The best thing that it's just the best thing. I get free merch all the time from my
Yeah.
mentors who mail it to my office. That's the best thing for me to do. The next thing is to see my mentees who are already in business and they get a cash infusion that takes them to the next level. Because now I have mentees where they're getting 100, $250,000 in funding, and now they're buying businesses. Like Herman, I didn't start a new business. I bought a laundromat. I bought a parking lot. I bought a roofing company, with the strategies that you taught me. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I was like, wow, my mentees are doing way better than me. That's the best part. When I had
Yeah. Hey, hold up.
money, yeah, bro, I had this one mentee. Shout out to my guy, Newt, the entrepreneur out of Philadelphia. I remember when he came to me when he was like 20, 21 years old, bro. And you ever go to a conference, you're there for the weekend, but you learn that one thing, bro, that just changed everything. And it's like, oh, that's what I needed. He came to me. I taught him business funding, bro. When I mean he's gone, he has lapped me in so many ways. He's
Good.
actually a developer. A developer. He's not even 30 yet. He's a major developer in Philadelphia, building homes out of the ground, like buying land, digging the holes, and building these wonderful townhomes in downtown Philadelphia. Listen, he did all the work, but he's definitely a chip that I carry on my shoulder.
Herman, how do you want to be remembered?
Ooh, how do I want to be remembered? To be honest, bro, I only want to be remembered by two people, Bella Sloan and Olivia Monroe. As long as I leave an amazing legacy of being a good father to these beautiful black little girls that I'm raising, I think I did. I think I did a good job. Because God's going to ask me, what did you do with the time that I gave you, the 100 years that I gave you? I raised these amazing daughters, and I happen to help a couple of other people get
I've never
funding.
gotten that one answer before, and I really love it, man. That was a great one.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Herman, where can we find you on socials, man?
Listen, it's Haitian underscore CEO on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm everywhere. If you want free information and all my free videos, check us out on the company page, Bella Sloan Enterprises on YouTube. We love to teach for free. You want funding? We love to help you out too.
All right, y'all, you heard it. This is Alex Quin, Herman Dolce Senior, no,
Junior,
Junior,
Junior, yes.
CEO of Bella Sloan, aka the Haitian CEO. We'll catch you on the next episode.